Welcome back. Here we go. We got another one. Kitchen's dirty. I just got back from the grocery store. Nah, who am I kidding? I Instacarted. But all the groceries are put away. I just got to throw away them bags. Anyways, I'm moving from this house in about 2 months. And I'm looking for houses now. And the market is so messed up right now. I'm moving because it's just me living here. This house is way too big. And they're upping the rent. Yeah, that's right. I'm renting this house out because this market is completely screwed up. It reminded me of the micro apartment that I lived in right when I got out of the military. I was like, oh, that'll be cool. If you think living in a micro apartment is cool, you're just as dumb as I was. This apartment was, I think, a little bigger than 400 square feet. It was so tiny. I couldn't fit anything in there. I had to put stuff in storage, aka my mom's house. What also sucked about this apartment, it was the location. The location was South End, Charlotte, North Carolina. And that was the absolute worst location that I've ever lived at in my life. On top of it being crowded, on top of it being loud, on top of just the nightlife there is just so booming and loud. I just... I lived in the center of the asshole of loudness. There were nothing but bars. Across the street from me, downstairs was a bar. Across the street was a bar. Everybody that graduated college in North Carolina moved to South End to Yale. I parked on a parking deck and I had to pull out of my apartment into traffic, right off the gate traffic. And it would take forever just to get to the interstate, just so I can drive to wherever I was going. My gym wasn't close. My gym was about 30 minutes away. My grocery store, luckily, was only about 20 minutes away, aka a mile. Another thing about this location that just absolutely pissed me off was because every woman that I approached was a total bitch. And every girl I approached and met there was just like that. All the dudes are like 6'2" banker virgins, and then all the chicks are always pissed off. I was like, I gotta get out of here. The only perk of living here in South End, Charlotte, is the nightlife, so that you can get wasted, plastered drunk, and walk back to your apartment. That's the only perk. That's it. And me being the single guy, I would invite girls to my apartment. Yeah, whatever. And they would have to pay I didn't have guest passes. And I would have to pay for them to come over and stay for a couple of hours or spend the night or whatever. And it would be $60. This place was running me dry. And on top of that, you would be like, well, at least the rent's cheap. It was $1,800 a month. It wasn't even cheap. This place is terrible. Let me see if I can't get South End, Charlotte. Like, anybody that doesn't live here is like, oh, it's such a cute little area. I love it. Yeah, well, if you live there, you're going to hate it. Like, this is probably your average, Tuesday at 2 p.m. Like, this is how packed it is. And it is so loud. Yep, here's that famous wall that every girl that owns a pair of high heels takes a picture in front of this wall. Let's see here. This is your average Yeah, this looks about right here. We got your average couple here in Charlotte, North Carolina. That is so funny. Yeah, the rent there isn't cheap. It's so expensive. The restaurants there are mediocre and overly priced. The beers are $6. Like, it's just not the place. It wasn't the place for me. I don't drink. So what was my dumbass thinking? In my apartment, I had a bed, a couch, and my kitchen. And I was like, it's so cool, man, because everything's going to be close by. And then I can get out of bed and go right into the kitchen and make breakfast. Yeah, big mistake. Grease was everywhere in the apartment. There was grease on top of the TV. How? Don't live in a micro apartment. On top of it being loud, there's no space. I had one window and it opened up halfway from the bottom. So it's not like it opened up halfway from the top and you get some fresh air. No, your knees are getting air. Your face isn't. You had to sit on the ground and breathe out the window to get some fresh air. Dude, don't do it. Don't do it. If you're thinking about a micro apartment, don't do it. It's terrible. It's ass. Oh, how could I forget? The best part is waking up to the fire alarms. There was something going on with the building, and about once or twice a month, randomly throughout the night, throughout the day, at some point, the fire alarm will go off. And then you're expected to walk out of the building, right? And then you can walk back in when it's done. It could be at 3 a.m. It could be at 7 p.m. It really doesn't matter. You're just gambling at this point. Yep, so everything I wanted to do was far away. Yep, and everything that I just didn't like to do is right next door. If I was an alcoholic, if you're an alcoholic, you work a corporate job, you're single, and you hate Donald Trump, South End Charlotte is the place to go. Everybody there is the exact same, and they're all rude as fuck. There's nothing better than having space. Even if that space, there's nothing there. I got 2 rooms upstairs that there isn't anything in, okay? But it's nice to have. It's a waste of money, but it's nice to have. Nothing beats a backyard. Okay, you got chairs out there, you got a little fire pit, grill, whatever, dog can go piss and shit out there. It's perfect. It really is perfect. It's nice having peace and quiet, right? I like being able to yell. I'm loud. I'm really loud, and I like to not hear anybody else. So micro apartments aren't for me. They might be for you if you're a weirdo, but don't do it. It ain't worth it. Especially living in the center of the city is so ass. It's so ass. If you ever lived in a micro apartment, tell me how bad it was, because I know it wasn't good. Tell me how bad it was. I want to know. I want to be able to relate to somebody. Thanks for sticking around for that little story time. I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you in the next one.